Welcome to Mental Health Success Stories with John Troutman. Here we provide a space for authentic conversations about real-world mental health challenges. We discuss mental health solutions with national industry leaders. We aim to reduce stigma and increase awareness around mental health issues. We will inspire you to take action and improve your own mental health. We will share and promote realistic mental health solutions that anyone can implement. This podcast is provided to you for information purposes only to encourage a broad public understanding of various mental health topics. The podcast may represent the views and opinions of the author, host, and/or guests, and not necessarily the views and opinions of Pyramid Healthcare. Information contained in this podcast should not be relied upon as medical advice or as a substitute for medical advice. This podcast does not establish any doctor-patient relationship and is not a substitute for individual clinical judgment. If you need medical advice or you are experiencing a medical emergency, call your doctor or 911 immediately. And now, here is our host of Mental Health Success Stories, John Troutman.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's show. As always, I'm just so excited and thrilled to interview these leaders in our industry who are willing to come on this podcast and talk about the challenges they've had in business and life, those things that have been difficult to deal with, that have impacted their mental health. And today's guest is a great human being. He's also been in this industry for a while. I'll allow him to give some of that background here in a couple of minutes, but a big Ohio State fan, been heavily involved in the insurance industry, is currently the vice president of sales at Edison Health Solutions, is one of my close strategic partners. And I've got to also say a very dear, close personal friend, and I consider brother. So without any more ado, let's introduce Bob McCollins.
Good morning, John. How are you? Thanks for having me.
And I guess for brand recognition, I should have said Bald Guy Bob, right?
Yeah, people don't know I'm Bob McCollins. They just know me as Bald Guy Bob, and I wear it well.
Now, and how long have you had that, that tag there that you started out?
That was the result of an investment in our friend Andy Neary and his mastermind class. It was created in my mind around November of 2020 and launched in 2021 as part of my plan.
That's amazing. And now I've been at national events with you, and I've heard people call you out by that tag.
Yes.
Hey, there's Bald Guy Bob. So that's fantastic. Congratulations for that recognition. I'm sure it's helped.
Oh, huge. Absolutely.
So
and it's fun.
Yeah. That's great. Well, you are a lot of fun, and you tolerate my golf game, which is another reason why I appreciate you so much. But tell us a little bit give us a snapshot, Bob, of some things you're working on in business right now, and help us understand what you do.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks. Work for Edison Health Solutions. We're a third-party administrator. So my goal in the role that I'm in is to I focus on working with the independent benefit advisors, the next gen health Rosetta types. I want to be a solution provider for them, just like you, just like many of our friends, to give them an edge to go out to win business, to retain business, to take care of customers, to do it the right way. And that really is my singular focus, and very excited for the second half of the year. Some things that we have coming out that we've worked on developing the first half of the year. So very excited to share that with some really key, strong relationships that we have in the business.
That's excellent. And one of the things I've always appreciated from you, Bob, from day one, is you are a people over everything kind of person. Would you say that's a big part of how you do what you do? I know you're humble, but isn't that a big part of your why as well?
It is. It's a huge part. I'm very fortunate. I was brought up as an only child. Have great parents. I'm fortunate they're both still alive. And was just brought up the right way. You just treat people the right way. Consider who your friends are, who you surround yourself with is very, very important. Learn those lessons the hard way as a young teen growing up. But we have a term that we use that I like to use that doing business with PLUs, and a PLU is a people like us. You could have the greatest whatever in the world, but quite frankly, if you're a jerk, I don't want to work with you. And I really want to work with people who are like-minded, who have a heart for doing the right thing, and are just good people. And it just makes life and business so much more fun.
Yeah, we only get so many trips around the sun, right? So we might as well make it a good one and invest in the right people. Good things will happen. I believe that as well. And just so appreciate you. From a personal standpoint, Bob, just help us understand a little bit of your background. Maybe some folks don't know about you. You know, what are some of your interests? You know, who the person Bob is. Help us understand that today.
Well, you know, the truthful part of it is being personal. I'm greatly blessed, highly favored, but I'm an imperfect child of God. And, you know, I was brought up in a very loving home. My dad was a career educator. We never had a lot of money, but we always had enough. And we had our family. Church was very important to us. Had a great education growing up in middle school, high school, great friends, sports success, just all the things that make a childhood fantastic. And I know, John, talking to a number of people, that I'm probably more of an exception than the rule. And I'm very aware of the fact that I really had a really, really great childhood. You know, college was wonderful. You know, the Ohio State University is near and dear to my heart. Sorry, Indian area, if you hear that, that's going to turn the screws a little bit. But, you know, I'm a Buckeye fan. I love baseball, football. Baseball is my first love. I have a wonderful daughter who has gifted me the greatest gift that God can give, and that is being a grandparent of my grandson, Grant, and Megan, my daughter, and Matt, her husband. Benefits has been my career. I got into insurance in 1983. My cousin got me into work for Metropolitan Life, trying to sell baby leads and homeowners insurance and auto insurance. And I found out I stunk at that. I mean, stunk. But I walked my way in with a resume to a boutique third-party administrator here in Columbus, Ohio. And as I was walking out, little did I know that one of the other regional sales managers saw me walk in and walk out. And he was a member of the American Legion Post 239, which that's who I played baseball for during the summer. Kent Bruce. Kent walked up to Sue Vroman and said, "Who was that?" And she goes, "I don't know, some guy bringing in his resume." Back in the old days, we didn't have, you know, Indeed and all these things. So he looked and saw it was me. He walked my resume to Steve Lewis, who was a hiring person, and said, "You need to hire this guy." And literally that's what happened. I mean, and it got me into the benefits business in March of 1986. And if you do the math, I'm in my 36th year, and I love it. I love the people. I love the problem solving. I love helping people. It's something that you can do in our business. And gosh, I'm having more fun in year 36 than I've had any time in my career. So I would encourage anyone, doesn't matter how old you are, you can reinvent yourself as Bald Guy Bob and take advantage of the opportunities that are out there. But it's just wonderful being around so many. As you know, we're very fortunate in our industry and the people we hang with. There's just a ton of really great people. And man, that's what gets me up every morning to do what I do.
Yeah, that's great, Bob. What a wonderful story. And again, reinventing yourself, that itself can be a powerful story for people here today. You know, this podcast is purposed in helping people take action in their mental health challenges. Oftentimes people think, you know, I have to be labeled this or that, or it's got to be so severe that I need to be, you know, taken to a facility or something like that before I take action. That's not the case. We all struggle with areas of our mental health, and whether it's from business or life or both, those challenges are real. So we're just going to dive right in here. What's an area you'd like to share today with our folks to explain, you know, some of your challenges or a challenge, and just tell that story here today?
Yeah. You know, I think back to what I just said, and people probably thinking, man, you've had a perfect, wonderful, great life. And I have. But there have been times in my life that were very dark and very lonely. and, specifically, very, very rough to get through. I went through a divorce. That's one of that is the single toughest thing I've ever dealt with in my life. 12, 13 years ago. And during that time period going through it, I also lost a job. And you talked about getting kicked in the gut twice. I will admit it was as low as I could have been. What I would share with folks was nobody really knew how bad I was. And thank goodness I did get help. But people really didn't know. I mean, the worst thoughts in the world crept into my mind. I mean, and I'll just let it go at that. It was tough. It was not who people thought I was. I was fake it till you make it strong. But I'll tell you what, it was truly a tough time in my life that, you still deal with the demons every now and then, to today. But by the grace of God and some great friends and a lot of people, supporting me, finding out truly who your friends are, going through that process, which was another hard lesson to learn. It was tough. And, what I would tell people is don't be like Bob. Don't fake it till you make it. You need help, get help. Don't be so strong. Don't be so freaking male, bald-headed, stubborn to think, I can't let people see me being weak. I can't let people see me being vulnerable. I can't let people see me in tears and dealing with the things that I was. Folks, thank goodness I got help, because, Evelyn was a lifesaver.
So what did you do, or help us understand, again, I don't want to just callously go over this. That's a very challenging season to walk through, right? So, but what were some things that you did to take action? If you feel comfortable to say, I had my aha moment. Many people, when they go through a challenge, they reach a point where, I just have to do something right now. Did you have one of those moments, Bob, or was it something else? And then what were those steps?
When the thoughts started to become too frequent about taking the easy path of saying, this hurts. I'm hurting people. I'm hurt. Just be easier probably if I wasn't around. I mean, I did, those thoughts of taking your life, probably a lot of people may have had it at one point in time, but it's just one of those things you think about. When it started becoming more frequent, never to act on, but really, really scared the what out of me. That's when I thought, I need help. I need help from a professional. I need help from someone that can get me through this, because I don't like the trend that I'm headed on. I mean, it was just becoming overwhelming. And that's what prompted me, quite frankly, to truthfully reach out to my dad. My dad was a career guidance counselor, but my dad also got his master's and PhD in clinical psychology. I mean, he dealt with people that was me. I mean, that was his retirement career. And it was hard to go sit down with admittedly my best friend, my dad, and say, Dad, this is what I'm dealing with, knowing that he couldn't help me, although he wanted to, but he got me connected to Evelyn, a wonderful lady who welcomed me and all the pain and all of the thoughts and all of the crap that I was dealing with. And she was a lifesaver. I mean, just flat out a lifesaver, my lifesaver. So that was the aha moment. Was my thoughts, the action to quite frankly go to the person who I was probably disappointing the most that I
Mm.
never would want to
Wow.
disappoint. And having that conversation with him and my mom. But then getting wonderful help from a lady who she just accepted me and listened and loved and cared for and helped me through a really, 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 really rough patch.
Well, I'm so glad, Bob, you took action. I mean, I'm so glad you're here with us today, obviously, right? And you're just a fantastic human being, great friend, and what a powerful story and talking that through and helping us understand that. At that moment in time, Bob, did you have a job? You said you lost your job, but at that moment, were you working again, or what did that look like when you started to get the help you needed?
About halfway through getting the help with Evelyn, I was with her for a couple years, and about halfway, probably 6-7 months in, I lost my job. And that you talk about piling on, and it came out of nowhere. I mean, just out of nowhere, which it does most of the time with people. Again, I'm not unique in that. But that added some additional stress, to things. But again, she was able to help me, get through that. And really what I developed was, I woke up every morning. I didn't have a job, but my job was to go find a job. I mean, that became my job. I got up, I got dressed, I went to Panera, I went to Starbucks, and I went to work. And that was one of the things she told me. She said, don't sit there and if you stay at your place, you're in your jammies, you'll have motivation for an hour, but it's gonna overtake you in the doubt and the self-doubt. So I woke up in the morning, I started to get better. She was helping me. Friends were supporting me. I was accepting the support. I was sharing more of where I was with people instead of I'm strong, I can do this. I don't need help. I started sharing with my true friends more, and they were embracing and supporting me and reaching out, and that circle of trust, that circle of friendship really started to form that I leaned on. And my attitude started to change, and I realized I got a lot to live for. And so my attitude changed, my circle of support strengthened. And as a result, I would wake up in the morning with better thoughts, better attitude, more positive. There was still the pain of the things I was going through, but that was normal. And at that point, I powered through it with the right support, not powered through it by myself, because I'm not going to let anybody know. It's a big difference. I would wear myself out powering through by myself. And when I changed my attitude and accepted the help and opened up and received the help and support, then I powered through, not by myself, but with all of the other support that I had. And it was a completely different way of life.
Very powerful, very powerful. So Bob, when this is going to be aired or seen by our viewers, it's going to be fourth quarter, right? These advisors are going to be in their busiest time of the year. Lots of stress, right? Anxiety, lots of things going on. Things can add up. From our other guests who've already shared in this podcast, they've spoken to things like the cumulative effect, right? How things can stockpile up. You mentioned a major transition in life. That was a thing. What might you say to people who are watching this or who are listening to this that are feeling overwhelmed? They're feeling stressed, but they're saying to themselves in a very similar way that you were one time, I just need to power through this fourth quarter. I shouldn't be giving myself the time that I really should take. That can wait until January. I can just put these things off until February. I just need to power through by myself.
You can do it. You can power through it by yourself. It's not the best way in life for you to do it, but we're all human, and people are going to react. So if you power through it, power through it. I mean, recognize that that's an option. The better option is to take care of yourself, because if you're doing it for business and your prospects and your customers, you're not going to be as good for them if you try to power through it by yourself. You have to take care of you and the people around you. So be aware. Just be aware that, yeah, you can do it by yourself, but it's a lot better if you have a tribe, if you have support, if you recognize that I'm flat out wore out. And I know I can't afford to take 4 hours off or 2 hours off or an hour off, but I have to schedule that time, or I have to make sure that I do that for me, for my mental health, for my energy, for my business, for what I want to accomplish. More importantly, for your family, for your friends, for the people that you work with. You can fake it, but it's going to catch up sooner or later, one way or not. And again, I'm not preaching. I'm just saying, folks, if you're in that, I've been there, and I did it the wrong way, and I survived, but I got the help that I needed. I took the time for me, and I would encourage you to listen to that. And obviously you can reach me anytime, but if you need an ear to listen, I'm here. John's here. I mean, that's the type of people that we are. Planet Fitness, judgment-free zone. I mean, that is my world. I can't do it because I was in a dark spot and I've been through a lot. Not through everything, but I've been through a lot. So the one thing I would share, and this was something that I kind of developed towards the back end of my time with Evelyn. And that is this, that I would share with you. And it doesn't matter what season you're in or where you are. I look at my calendar here, and today is Tuesday, July 12th, 2022. I only get in my life one July 12th, 2022. Only one. And I wake up with an attitude I've had for several years that I only get this one. I'm going to do everything that I can to make it the best one possible, because I don't get a do-over. And quite frankly, I'm not promised July 13th. There's no guarantee the 13th will happen. And what happened prior to the 12th, I carry with me, but it's not going to impact or influence in a negative way my day today, because I'm not going to get this one again. So I had someone, when I was going through that interview process, I had a CEO said, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I paused and I go, I'm going to give you an answer that you're not going to expect to hear. I go, I'm going through on the back end, toughest time of my life ever, of a divorce and a job loss. And I told him, this is what this day is. I just said that to the CEO. I said, all I know is if I do a really good job the next 5 years and living one day at a time, I'm going to be in a good spot. And I share that, embrace the present of today. Today's a gift. July 12th, 2022, only one. The 13th may not happen. So power through, get help though. Get help. It's out there. Take advantage of it. Be vulnerable. Be yourself. There's people that love and care and support you. Those of you who might be going through things right now that want to help. You need to lean on them for the help.
Again, Bob, as always, great words of wisdom there. Really appreciate your sincerity and your transparency. Just means a lot. You mentioned several times, if people wanted to reach out to you or to me, again, they have my information. What's the best way for individuals to reach out to you?
The best way is on LinkedIn. Look for Bob McCollins, also known as Bald Guy Bob. but that's probably the easiest way to reach out to me. Certainly, if you want, the other easiest way is my phone number. Shoot me a text, give me a call, 614-264-9694. I welcome it. I welcome it. I welcome the friendships. I welcome the opportunity to get to know you. And, we're here for you. Life's hard, folks. But it can be a great, great life too. And, by the grace of God and the support and prayers of a lot of really awesome people, I can tell you at 63, gaining on 64, and as I like to say, on the back nine of my life, I'm a very, very blessed, lucky, and rich person today.
Well, I am a very blessed and rich person because you're in my life. Quite frankly, my friend, my golf game has improved. My business is better off, and I'm better off as a human being because of you. So I so appreciate you being here today. Before I wrap things up here, any parting words before we go? I know you gave us a lot of great content here. It's very helpful and inspiring, but anything else before we wrap things up here today?
Yeah, I just, this is a tough time that we're living in. And, but with all of the negativity, there is so much positivity in this world. There's so much to live for. There's so many great people. Lean on your dudes and dudettes. I mean, that's all I can say. Just look at your tribe, look at the people that are around you. That's your energy bus. And if there's people that don't persuade that to you in your life and are negative, then kick them off your bus. Kind of harsh, but you know what? Life's too short. And trust me, it is. Life is too short. So be happy and surround yourself with awesome people. And when you need help, ask for it.
Excellent. And again, thank you, Bob, for being with us here today.
Thank you.
To those of you who jumped on late or got sidetracked along the way, I'm going to give you a couple of bullets here to think about from our friend Bob McCollins. Who is in your circle of trust? Are they just merely friends, or are they people you can actually trust? Excellent advice there. We all have a lot to be reminded of what we've got to live for. We all have a lot of things to live for. Gratitude. Bob talked about that in his story, in his challenge, and that moment that he shared was sort of an aha moment. Think about that in your world, taking some time for gratitude. He also mentioned powering through alone doesn't work over the long haul. And to make sure that you, again, referring back to that circle of trust, including those people, allowing those people to speak truth into your life in those challenging times. And he also mentioned here towards the end, breaking it down into manageable bites. This is a very busy time of the year when you listen to this podcast, or if you're watching it. Fourth quarter is in full swing and you might feel overwhelmed, but every day is a great day to invest in your mental health, because your mental health matters. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you again, Bob McCollins, and let's make this a great day, everyone. Have a great one.
See you, John. Thanks.